Hello there! Welcome to another video of Girls Frontline 2. I hope you are well. A Pillion event just started few days ago, along with the release of Klukai's recruitment banner, which is up for grabs for everybody. Good luck, by the way, for all of the Klukai recruiters. Hope you get at least segment 0, 2, or 3 luckily. Back to the main topic, we are here to talk about why and why not Klukai. Yes, there is both the why and why not, because I want to balance the discussion regarding both pros and cons for investing on Klukai. Before the reasons, let's talk about Klukai very quickly. Who is Klukai? Klukai is the new tactical doll that uses an assault rifle and her skills are corrosion oriented. Her basic attack and first active skill has medium ammo properties. Her two active skills, pinpoint detonation, overpowering corrosion, and ultimate skill, devastating drift, deal corrosion damage. On top of that, all of her skills deal AoE type damage and has a big area of effect. She has the abilities of applying a poison debuff to her enemies with the use of corrosive infusion and also put a bomb on them with the use of toxic infiltration. She is also immune to taunt, fear, attract, and stun, by the way. Isn't she amazing? Basically, she is a tactical doll that excels in AoE and corrosion damage that cannot be mind controlled even by Yuri of Red Alert 2. We will talk about her more later on. How is Klukai? In my experience, even with no segments or fortification, she is really good and especially reliable in missions that have 1,000 enemies on it. Due to the large radius of her skills, she can easily damage or eliminate multiple enemies single-handedly. Whatever she does, whether it be a basic attack or a skill, she always put a corrosive infusion debuff to the enemy, which guarantees another source of damage against the enemy. Not to mention, the more you prolong the fight with Klukai, the more she gets powerful due to her passive buff Competitive Spirit, which increases her corrosion damage the more stacks she has. Both good for early fights and late game. She is amazing, really. We talk about who and how is Klukai. Next is, when to Klukai. Girls Frontline 2 has been around for at least 3 months now, and a lot of the new content they have been giving to us contains a lot of new enemies and large-scale enemy groups lately. Some of the elites and boss fights tend to have reinforcements or can summon lesser enemies in which can overwhelm the commanders sometimes during the fights. Dolls who do really well even by taking out the enemies one by one are great and all, but you cannot also deny the reliability of the T-dolls that also excel in AoE or damage and eliminate multiple enemies at once. If you are still in the point of the game, you don't have Peritia, Litara, Sabrina, or Karolik built or obtained, now is most likely the best time to try your luck on getting Klukai. Even just segment 0 is enough. Of course, as usual, this is just my opinion. It is still up to you whether you want to get her or not. Now that we have talked about Klukai regarding who she is, how she plays out, and when to get her, let's ask ourselves this question. Why Klukai? Klukai is the first tactical doll which all of her skills are AoE and they all deal one single pace type damage, corrosion element. This makes it easier for everybody to make a build for her. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will just give her corrosion boost attachment set. With her being an AoE expert, this also means she damages multiple enemies at once and she is a great partner for Peritia. If Klukai was not able to one-shot your enemies, Peritia can support attack for some sweeping. Have I told you that Peritia can also support attack on the enemies that got damaged by Klukai's corrosive infusion? No? I mean, look at that. Another reason you would want a Klukai is because she is dedicated to the corrosion. Sure, we have Nemesis, Peritia, or Nagan to deal a corrosion damage for us, but Klukai just takes the definition of corrosion to a whole another level. Even with just her segment 0, she already does a lot with her skill set. Her fixed keys also allow her to excel in dealing with a single target or less enemies when needed to. She also makes all of the Pace Strike users activated all the time, since Klukai never stop applying corrosive infusion to your enemies. In my opinion, I think everybody should get at least one Klukai. You get a tactical doll that can sweep a lot of enemies and a free outfit on top of that. Still, the decision is up to you. We have talked about some of the reasons why Klukai. To balance things out, here's another question. Why not Klukai? If there are positives, there are also negatives. Her skill set is amazing, that's for sure, but it comes with a price. Her two active skills, Pinpoint Detonation and Overpowering Corrosion, both cost 3 Confectance Index. Both of these skills are expensive to use, and you will want to use them right. By default, Klukai can get 1 Confectance Index for each enemy she or another friendly doll deals corrosion damage with active skills. Nemesis, Peritia, or Nagant might be needed sometimes to guarantee another source of Confectance Index for Klukai. You can also do your best that Klukai damage multiple enemies always. Use Pinpoint Detonation as generator or use her fixed keys to keep her Confectance Index filled up. You have to manage the use of Confectance Index of Klukai, especially when she cannot one-shot her enemies or if she's fighting one enemy only. Her ultimate skill, Devastating Drift, has a long cooldown, 6 turns. It is a powerful skill that comes with a great drawback because it might take a while for Klukai to use her ultimate skill again. She is the first T-Doll to have a skill with 6-turn cooldown, and it is probably designed this way to hold her back a little. Pinpoint Detonation can help reduce the cooldown of the ultimate skill by 1 turn per each enemy eliminated and another 1 turn cooldown reduction for every 3 Confectance Index she gets. Even with those 2 ways, the conditions are too steep since one requires Klukai to last hit the enemies and the other one requires her or friendly dolls to hit a lot of enemies with corrosion. Klukai performs less for single enemy fights. She cannot refill her Confectance Index properly since there are less enemies for Klukai to damage. With Klukai, you need at least 2 enemies that are near with one another. You are not able to use her Devastating Drift 2 times in a row also. This is where the part you are going to need the segment 3 of Klukai. Emphasize on need, not want. The reason you need her segment 3, it allows Klukai to use her Devastating Drift for the second time, even if she only hits 2 enemies or a boss. It adds the boss condition along with easing up the condition of hitting 2 targets instead of needing Klukai to eliminate them. With segment 3, this allows Klukai to use Devastating Drift 2 times in a row, even if she's fighting only a boss, because it guarantees 2 Confectance Index, and she does not lose the multiple use functionality of her ultimate skill. However, despite the segment 3 offset, we cannot just exactly tell and force everyone to go for segment 3 because it is way too expensive. I get why a lot of people would tell anyone to go for Klukai's segment 3, but honestly, just stick with her segment 0. Work around on her weaknesses and try to offset them. Stronger Klukai is expensive. Klukai is already strong even on her segment 0. She fits the sweeper role excellently. However, if we are going to talk about whether to get any fortification or not, a lot of times we base them on just the segment 1 alone. In my opinion, I don't think it is worth spending resources just to settle on her segment 1 because it is not the fortification you will need for Klukai as segment 1 only activates after using Overpowering Corrosion. Segment 2 is also not something you need, but it does increase Klukai's corrosion damage and the effects of corrosive infusion in a long battle. Segment 3 is the first fortification you actually need for Klukai. It dramatically increases the damage of her Devastating Drift, makes it easier to use it again for the second time, applies a defense down and put a bomb on the enemies before attacking. Segment 3 keeps Klukai's second use of her Devastating Drift, which is really something you need. You're going to get used to Klukai using her ultimate skill twice in every mission. It will be a bummer for you when you bring her to a battle where your squad faces only one enemy, which might be a boss, only to realize it later that you can't use Klukai's ultimate skill twice. But then, it is segment 3 though. Only the richest commanders can afford that. I'm not even going to talk about her segment 6, but it is another great fortification for Klukai. If you are interested, I suggest you check it out. It is one of the most broken segments. Right, there is that. With all of those positives and negatives discussed, not all tactical dolls are perfect, but at the same time, it is also what makes them perfect. Klukai is one of the most powerful dolls currently out there. The fact that she can eliminate a lot of the enemies and get buff while doing it is a testament on how she can be more powerful when she has those full stacks of competitive spirit and corrosive infusion. Still, with everything I have said throughout this video, I suggest that people should try using their luck on her and get at least a segment 0, even without her weapon Skyla. I know I did not talk about much of her imprint weapon Skyla, because I decided not to include in the discussion and I wanted to keep it strictly about Klukai. Right. In summary, Klukai is one of the new tactical dolls released in Girls Frontline 2. She's great at eliminating many enemies at once, has the power of corrosion, she has a big bike and it is an expensive one. What do you guys think of Klukai? Did you recruit her or no? If yes, do you find her really good or find her lacking? Good luck to all commanders out there who are still trying to recruit her or getting her fortification. For commanders who will be skipping on Klukai, good luck on your future recruits. Anyway, that will be all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for hanging out and I hope you will have a nice day. Later!